Curiosity is always the ace up your sleeve. When you are able to ask more questions, what that does is it gets you people's thoughts. And when you know what their thoughts are, then you know what their beliefs are. Then you can influence their beliefs. Watching this on the YouTube channel, you can see I'm wearing my You're Never Behind shirt. I love this shirt and it's in our swag shop. You can access it by going to emilygibsoncoaching.com/shop, and it is in our Wear Words That Matter collection. I love this shirt because how many of you tell yourself that you're behind? You should have ranked up by now. You should be further ahead. No! Have you ever seen Top Gun Maverick, the second one? The first one has been my favorite movie since childhood. The second one got me through a super difficult time. And it was when I was building my coaching business in the first year. And it just gave me permission to do the unconventional thing. I was living my dream, being at the top of my network marketing company, and decided I wanted to be a coach. Who does that? Me, I did. It was a passion on my heart. I knew I needed to lean into it. I felt the God nudge. I had to listen. It literally made my skin crawl to do anything else. And I remember thinking when I watched Top Gun Maverick and that part where he's just flown the aircraft, they did Mach 10, the thing happens, and then he's brought in to his superior's office and he's like, "You're still a captain." And he's like, "It's a mystery to us all, sir." And then he says, "Shouldn't you be something by now? Shouldn't you be at least a something by now?" And he says, "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, sir." And that moment in that movie has just kept me going in the most difficult times of my life over the last 2 years. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You're never behind. No matter what has happened in your business, no matter how long you've been doing, no matter how many companies you've been to, no matter how many times you've lost a leader and restarted or quit on yourself and restarted again, you're never behind. Today, what I'm going to teach you is how to be able to overcome people's objections. And I have some helpful verbiage examples here that I'm going to share with you that are going to help you so that you can get ahead. Not that you're behind, but that it's time to move ahead. You're right where you're meant to be. The way I know that is because it is where you are. And what's the upside of thinking anything different? There's no upside to thinking anything different. You're right where you're meant to be. It's happening the way it's supposed to. It was always supposed to happen this way. And the way I know that's true is because it is what is happening. And now let's move you forward, my friend. So this is some helpful verbiage to overcome objections that have worked for me in the past that I'm going to read to you. And I wrote them down in my little book here. So I'm going to help you. Okay. So these are some of the, first of all, curiosity is always the ace up your sleeve. When you are able to ask more questions, what that does is it gets you people's thoughts. And when you know what their thoughts are, then you know what their beliefs are. Then you can influence their beliefs because our thoughts create our feelings, where we take action from, where we create our results. So if you want to change the result of someone from not ordering to ordering with you, then you're going to need to influence their thoughts because their thoughts are what are currently creating the result of not ordering. So we want to we want to find out what their thoughts are so that we can be curious and help them change those beliefs so that the result changes. Are you with me? It's so fun. Okay, you guys. So first of all, when someone is maybe ghosting you and they are not responding, or they are maybe saying like maybe you can't put your finger on why they're not ordering. They're putting you off. They're saying, next payday, got to wait till payday. Need to talk to my husband. Not quite ready yet. Feel uncomfortable about the ingredients or whatever it is, like whatever it is that's holding them off. Then what I want you to say to them is something like this. Let me know if I'm wrong here. Let me know if I'm off base here, but I'm sensing that there's something holding you back. I'm curious. What is actually holding you back? Notice how you're giving them permission to just sit down and get comfy together. And you're getting curious so that they will answer your question so you can know where they stand. If cost, this is another one. If they say to you, it's just the money. That's what it boils down to. It's just the money. First of all, don't ever believe anything anyone tells you. Believe them to their face, but just know that's not even true, right? Because people go to Disneyland every single day and spend money that they don't have, and they find the money to do it because Disneyland has created an experience for them. You create that experience and you will have money coming into your business too. Okay. So if someone is saying, oh, it's just, it's just the money. It's just the money. It's just the money. That's not true. So let's really get to the bottom of it. So you say to them, if cost weren't an issue, is there anything else that's stopping you from getting started? This is one of my very favorite all-time questions. Then when someone is like, oh, well, yeah, like I just have all this credit card debt and, my husband, he's working overtime and we have so many other things that we need to spend our money on and blah, blah, blah. You are then going to say, oh my gosh, I know. And if they're like, oh, this is so expensive, it's just so expensive. What you've probably been trained to say is, oh, actually, there's lots of things that are expensive. And, if you were to, this really isn't expensive. This is just $4 a day. Like you've probably been taught to do it in that way. And there's just such a better way. And I'm going to tell you what the better way is. And the better way is to agree with them. If they say to you, it's so expensive, then you say to them, you're right. It is expensive. Because they already believe that. If they don't say that to you, don't say it. But if they're like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive, say, you're absolutely right. Last I checked, it's the most expensive supplements on the market. However, they're the best. And what it came down to for me was I wasn't interested in a cheap product that didn't give me fast results. I was interested in only putting the highest quality into my body that was going to give me the fastest results. That's what this is. That's how you overcome that objection when people say that's expensive. Just address it head on. You're right. It is expensive. Last I checked, it was the most expensive thing you could buy. And here's why. So write down that verbiage because they will not be expecting it if you do it in that way. And it's such a better way to overcome it. Okay. So instead of showing them how inexpensive it is, they don't believe that. They believe it's expensive. So just agree with them and show them why, even though it's not expensive. And we know that there's lots of other things that are more expensive, but this is what they're thinking. So we want to meet them where they are. Okay. And then show them another way. That's how you do that. Okay. Next, here's another one that you can talk to people about, because a lot of times people will say things like, I've just tried so many things before and nothing's ever worked. And I think it's just my body that just doesn't respond well to things. And this is where you want to start talking to people about, you know what? I used to feel that way too. Before I found this stuff, I felt that way too. And what I found is that this was different. And in network marketing, the coolest thing about all network marketing products in all different network marketing companies are the proprietary blends. It's what Costco is never going to have. It's what Amazon is never going to do. We all have proprietary blends that make our stuff special. And so I love to tell people stories about how my parents, they loved this one product that my company sold, but they felt like they could get it somewhere else cheaper buying all the individual ingredients. So they did that. They went and they bought all the different ingredients and they took it and they said, Emily, within the first month, we didn't feel as well. And I said, oh, you don't say. And so they said, don't ever let our subscription ever run out again because this stuff is different. Why is it different, Emily? And I said, the proprietary blend, my friend. That is why. And every single network marketing company without fail has their own proprietary blends. It's what network marketing companies have to do to set themselves apart from the rest of the marketplace. And so when people say to you, well, I've tried other things like this in the past, I've always, then we want to say, tell me more about that. Tell me what you've tried in the past. Tell me all the things that you've tried in the past, because we want to gather information. We want to know what we're talking about here. We want them to tell us all the things they've done. We want to say, what do you think made you fail at that? Tell me why you think you failed at that. And most of them are going to say things like, well, I was just inconsistent. And I couldn't remember to take things. It was really hard to do something so rigid. And then this is your chance to say, you know what? I love to tell a story. This is my favorite time when I'm talking to people and I'm helping them overcome objections. My favorite thing is to tell a story when it has to do with accountability. So, if they ever tell me, oh yeah, I just couldn't remember to take anything. And, whatever. And I'll say, when you were little, did you brush your teeth every single night? And everyone's going to be like, no, except for one girl that's always like, oh, I always did. So then if they say that, then I say, okay, do you have kids? And they'll be like, yeah, I have kids. And I'll be like, do you have your little kids that were like 3 and 4? Did they brush their teeth every single night without needing to be reminded? And they'll be like, oh, no, definitely not. And then you'll be like, okay. So in order to get them to brush their teeth every single night, what did you do? And they're going to be like, well, I reminded them. They're like in bed and you're like, did you brush your teeth? And they'll be like, no. Okay, well, you got to go brush your teeth, little Johnny. And so then he like marches. I would do this in a voice message, by the way. And, like march back or on the phone, but usually a voice message in network marketing, right? So then we're walking back to the bathroom and, brush your teeth and then you get back into the bed. And then the next night, same thing all over again. Johnny, did you brush your teeth? No. Johnny, go brush your teeth. Okay. Walk to the bathroom, brush the teeth, sulk back. And guess what? When little Johnny goes to college, do you think you're going to have to remind him to brush his teeth every day? And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, exactly. Because right now, when little Johnny is 3 years old, you are the external motivation for him because he doesn't have the internal motivation. That's what this is for you. That's what I am. I am the missing piece of the puzzle. So all of these other things that you've done and failed at before because you couldn't stick with it, it's not your fault because you didn't have me there to help be your external motivator till you had that internal motivation. That's what's been missing in all these other things that you failed at before. That's what this is. And typically what happens is this will start to change their beliefs because you're using a story to overcome the objections. So this is so powerful when you do this, you guys, because it really changes people's beliefs faster than trying to convince them or even like sit and what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. Even like connecting with them. is slower than the storytelling example. And I just always use the same toothbrush example every single time because everyone can relate to it, whether they themselves can relate to it or they have a child that they can relate to it about, right? And so that's another really amazing way to help people overcome objections is through storytelling. So let me just make sure there's nothing else that I want to add here. But these really are just my go-to things that are the absolute best. So the biggest thing that I want you to say that I want to say is that anytime that you are helping people overcome objections in sales, if you ever feel really graspy and defensive, I just want you to stop, take a walk, take a deep breath, because energetically humans are experts at reading other humans. And if you're coming across as really graspy and desperate, they're going to feel that. And that's going to be really not attractive. We want them to feel like the vibe that we want to be is that we're not pulling a rope. We're just sitting here without needing to convince them of anything. We're just here asking questions, making it seem like there's literally nothing better that they could be spending their money on than with you right here and now. And you want to walk them through all of these things. You just want to keep them talking as much as possible, because the more they talk, the more you hear their thoughts, the more you can ask them really great questions, and the more you can change what they believe through these little tips and tricks that I taught you today. They're going to help them overcome their own objections so you don't have to. Because that's the key. When you do this the right way, in the way I've just taught you, they are going to overcome their own objections by talking it out loud to you, because they're going to realize that all of their stuff, all of their excuses are lame. So you don't even have to tell them it's lame. They're going to, as they're talking it out loud to you by asking these questions and giving these examples and using storytelling, using the toothpaste example, when you do this, you literally tee them up so that they realize that their examples are lame and they overcome their own objections. You're just the question asker on the other side. All right, everybody, use this to help you close your deals more effectively. If you have any questions and you want to see me on a live call, I do a live call twice a week now. You can go sign up for a live call by simply going to Instagram right now. Go to Emily Gibson Coaching, at Emily Gibson Coaching on Instagram. There's a link in my profile that you can click and it will get you on a live call with me, totally free, today, 2 days from today, whatever day you're listening on. There's going to be a call right around the corner, because I do them twice a week, every single week. Come to the call, ask me questions, and make this podcast come to life by getting on a live call with me. All right, everyone. I hope I get to see you there. Have an amazing day. Bye now.